questions are for Ms. Klein and Ms. Love. Now, how do you, first for Ms. Klein, having Avenue Pink and working with Ms. Saunders and working with other individuals to run the organization, how do you work with other people? As president of an organization and having to delegate, it's really hard for me to delegate tasks.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of experience working with bigger companies and having different roles. So how do you first find people to work with that are quality and and just when you have a partnership, I'm sure a lot of our people, our audience members out here would love to work with their friends, but that's not always a good idea to work with your friends. So can you just discuss in having Avenue Pink and working in other endeavors, how do you how are you a part of a team, an asset to a team?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Super important question because a lot of people, I mean, even tonight we've been talking about starting your own thing and doing stuff, but everything you do a lot of times involves a team and having good people behind you, good people who are with you along the journey, along the way. For me, I'm actually going to step back to my BET days to start with that question. Because when I first started at BET, I worked up from like production manager or production assistant to production coordinator, production manager, which was my last position there. And so as a manager, I managed three levels of people under me, and then kind of had some peers that I managed as well. Like they were editors, but they reported to me as far as the projects they were working on, that type of thing. So when I first started doing that job, I had a lot of issues with delegation and figuring out how to over communicate what was needed, because you get to the point sometimes where you're like, wait, I know how to do this, so you should know how to do it. So I'll just tell you, just get it done. You got this, right? Okay, I'm gonna go back to my task, and that person comes back like, oh, I half did it. Do you like it? No, I don't. And so you have to go back and really kind of work, I guess, internally for yourself, a communication pattern that works within your organization. We're at that place now with Avenue Pink, as Chassie and I are opening up the organization and allowing more people to join us and work with us. We both have assistants now, and then we're also looking for like coordinators in certain areas to help us build the brand, like work on our ad sales and a business manager and that type of thing. And it's really, it's the key is communication, 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 and I always say over communicate, and really just being, I hate to keep going, but going back to what Crystal said, of your authentic self. If you approach a person like the first meeting, whether it's an interview, an email, or even a phone conversation, as your true, genuine self and say, hey, this is what our organization is about. Are you in line with this? Can you agree with what we're asking of you? This is a bulleted point list of what kind of things we would need you to give to the organization, need you to offer up for us. And if that person, is then, and they can say in their authentic self, oh yeah, that's something I can sign on to, I agree with that, I'm ready to do it, then you'll have the task kind of laid out, this is what we need from you, and everything is clear on paper and up front. Now where the gray areas come in and you have, the times when you butt heads or different issues, my tactic is to nip it in the butt right away. Like, go to the person, let's have a meeting, offline. Let me just, not necessarily like say if it's you're at an event and they do something crazy, not then, but afterwards, hey, can I talk to you real quick? Let's just, have a conference call. Let's meet up at Starbucks, whatever we need to do, inside or outside of the office, and just have a true dialogue where it's not necessarily a bash session or anything, because you want to respect each person's differences and everybody's leadership styles and skills. And so it's really always important to kind of open up the floor with, these are some of the concerns I have. This is what I've seen. Let me know how you've seen these issues. What is your take on what I've seen go on? Because a lot of times you'll find that there's just miscommunication. There was clarity needed in the definition of the role and what that person needed to do. Also, and this happened a lot at BET, there would be, you would tell somebody one thing and then somebody else who maybe was above you or a peer would come and tell them something else, and that person would stop doing whatever you needed and do the other task. A lot of times I would say to people, a suggestion for that is just to say, hey, I'm actually working on this for Quan right now. What's the priority? Just help me figure out what is priority in this situation. Should I stop down and do what you need, or should I keep doing what she needs? And really, in a workplace, in a work environment, a lot of times that person can say, oh, I'm not sure. I didn't know Quan had you working on that. Let's find out from her. Or, you know what, I'll find somebody else who can help me with the task I need right now. And just, again, communicating, because if you're open with that person then to say, I'm working on something else, then there won't be a time management issue where you're feeling stressed and you're like, oh, I'm trying to juggle too many things. Okay, I'll work on Quan's project till 3 a.m. and then I'll jump back on this one. You're just upfront with everybody, and you can say, okay, this is how much I can handle. These are the hours I can give to this project. And then outside of that, everybody knows that we're asking for additional work or we're asking for more. So just specifically about delegating tasks, I think those are some of the key elements. The other thing I would say, just as the person who may be the subordinate, like under the boss, always go to your boss and be mindful of your communication, especially in email and tone. Always reread 700 times if you have to just make sure that you're not saying, I thought you told me, blah, blah, blah. But more so, it was my understanding after the meeting this morning that you needed these items from me, bullet, 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 as opposed to, any type of attitude, any type of tone that could be misconstrued, and then the person's giving you the side eye, and you don't even know what's happening. You're like, oh, I finished. Did you get my email? They're like, I did. Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? What's going on? So as long as you, again, being truthful, being authentic, being honest, and upfront, that's the best way to, move through with organizational issues. The other thing I want to say is just definitely make sure to take responsibility. If you mess up, say it. We don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. We're all learning no matter what level you're at.
Questions before we open it up to the floor. Ms. Love, how do you regulate the people that you're over? How do you bring the best out of them? And what have you learned about yourself through managing others?
Ooh, what a question.
Juicy.
Well, I have two people that I've worked with in here. It's very interesting that you asked that question. I'm a teacher, and I'm a helper. And I say this to any manager that comes to the station to work to take a new job. I said, don't assume anybody knows anything. You got to teach people your style. Because people get all bent out of shape and say, well, they didn't do it this way. And I said, but did you teach them? You can't assume somebody knows something if you did not teach them. So one thing is that I will sit down and, here's my pet peeve. It drives me crazy to be in a room with my interns. If I have a whole bunch of interns, I talk like this. I move like this, okay? Because I'm about time management, and time is the one thing that I cannot get back. So I have to value and honor the time that I have into whoever I'm engaging in conversation with me. Like if you email me something, Justine is not going to write, I'm going to give you all permission to email me, but you better put something in there to tweak it for my brain for me to remember there was something. Because I don't need to read your whole dissertation. Because if you ask me a question, I'm going to say, no. Bam, that's it. Okay? Because remember, I'm dealing with 5 different radio stations. So they're different things. I'm going to say, you interested? Question mark. Bam, that's how I'm going to send it to them. And then they'll respond back to me, and then they'll say, well, we can do that. And I say, okay, well, then can you handle that? Because you already know what you can do with that part that you're working with. I don't know. I'm just giving you the tool, an avenue to get out and do something. It drives me crazy when I'm sitting there with my interns, and I understand that they're students, okay? But I've watched how folks react to us. If you take a pen and a piece of paper and you write down every word I say, that pisses me off. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I need you to be engaged. I need you to be listening to me, okay? And if you're listening, because I'm easy to talk to, if you're listening to me, you can stop me and ask a question, okay? And it's nothing wrong with saying, Just, you talk too fast, you went through too much, because I'll come back and say to you, I threw a whole lot at you. Want me to stop? Want me to slow it down and give it back to you? I just believe in being straight up with folks, being honest, pulling your coattail when I see that you're not doing something right. And if you ask me a question, I might be running. But I said, come on, walk with me. Walk with me. You know, I do not want you to text me. The folks that are texting me tonight have permission to text me because I'm not going to look at this phone. I'm a communicator. I'm going to pick up the phone and say, hey, you call me? Look, I need, can we talk? Because people like that. It's so impersonal when you just always email people and talk to them. I mean, email and text them. I don't know who you are. Because when you're talking about them, what, y'all are emails and text? I know y'all are. Okay?
And then people try to call you and you're like, I'm texting you.
Yeah, and I see, it takes me longer to type that out than for me to pick up the phone and ask that question. Now, the young lady that's sitting in the second row in the back, she knows, because she works with me. Has there ever been an opportunity that if you've asked me something that I did not embrace you?
Not at all. I got the walk with me.
Yeah, walk with me. Because that's what we're supposed to do. Sometimes there are folks that don't like my management style. But you know what? It's all right. Because I get done what I need to get done. And if there's something that, because unfortunately in the media, we sometimes always operate in crisis mode. You don't have to do that. If you figure it out, time management, I keep saying that to y'all. I plan out every event that I have. Now, if it rains, I have no control over that. But then I put that energy out that it doesn't rain on the Justine event. And it doesn't. Now, if y'all send some negative energy, see, y'all did that. Because it ain't raining on my event. But again, I cannot emphasize to you the importance of managing your time. That is the one thing you can't get back. And what you put out in the universe, it's out there. You can't get it back. You can say, I'm sorry. Well, as that in the color purple, I'm not the color purple. For color girls, I got a closet full of sorry. And folks don't care about sorry. They don't, especially when they want it done.